Isn't fruit always healthy? That's what I used to believe too. Hello, my friend. I'm Dr. Patel, 60 years old, and after over 30 years working with people over 60, here in the US, I started to notice something no one was really talking about. Some fruits, even the ones that say no sugar, all natural, 100% pure, can quietly weaken your muscles, break down the collagen in your joints, and slowly, silently make your legs feel heavier and less stable day by day. And the worst part, these fruits are sitting in your kitchen right now, in your fridge, on your shelf, labeled as healthy, trusted, familiar. Today, I want to show you 8 fruits that may seem good for you, but can actually harm your joints, and how you can protect your legs, your collagen, and your freedom of movement, starting right now. Are you ready? Part 1: fruit juice. Even the natural kind. No added sugar, no preservatives, 100% juice. Sounds innocent, even like a symbol of health. But for legs that are slowly weakening with age, fruit juice, even orange apple or grape, can be a hidden drain on your strength. When's the last time you had a glass of juice? This morning, maybe? A fresh squeezed orange juice you believe was good for your heart? Or that apple juice you've been drinking for years, thinking it's clean, simple, safe, I understand. I used to believe the same thing. Juice felt natural, pure, a gift from nature. But then I started noticing something wasn't right. One of my patients, Eleanor, 68, came to see me because her legs always felt tired. She said they sometimes shook a little when walking. She felt like she was losing her footing. She wasn't overweight. She had no major illnesses. She ate what most people would call a healthy diet. But then I asked, "What do you drink each day?" She smiled and said, "Juice, orange juice in the morning, apple juice in the afternoon, fresh squeezed, no sugar. All natural, doctor." And right then I knew what was going on. You see, when you juice fruit, you remove its most important part, fiber. Fiber isn't just good for digestion, it's the natural brake pedal for sugar. Without fiber, the sugar in juice hits your bloodstream fast and hard, like fuel being poured in without a filter. After age 60, your body can't handle sugar the way it used to. Insulin, the hormone that moves sugar into your muscle cells, becomes slower, weaker. It struggles to keep up. That means every glass of natural juice becomes a sugar flood in your blood, not just raising blood sugar, but creating chronic inflammation. And inflammation doesn't always show up as pain. It hides in your muscles, your joints, your tendons around the knees. I read a study from 2021 published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. They followed people over 65 who drank fruit juice regularly, not soda, real fruit juice. The results? Their fasting blood sugar was 34% higher. Their risk of insulin resistance was 22% higher. And they lost leg muscle mass 21% faster than those who ate whole fruit instead. Sounds serious, I think it is. Have you noticed your legs feeling weaker lately? Like going to the grocery store feels like walking uphill. I'm not saying juice is the only cause, but when you add it all up, one glass of juice each day on an empty stomach every morning, your body, especially your legs, starts to pay the price. Now you may ask, so doctor, what should I drink instead? I often recommend this simple swap. Instead of juice, try infused water. Filtered water with fresh slices of fruit like lemon, mint, or cucumber. It's refreshing, it has flavor, and it won't flood your system with sugar. Most importantly, it helps you stay in control of your legs. I want you to imagine this. One morning not far from now, you wake up, you place your feet on the floor, and your legs feel steady. No shaking, no stiffness, no need to hold the bed frame. That feeling, it might seem small, but to me, it's freedom. Freedom to walk through the park, to play with your grandkids, to travel, to move without fear. And that freedom doesn't come in a pill. It comes from the quiet choices you make each day. And if one of those choices is this, skip the morning juice. Instead, eat a whole apple with the skin and maybe a few walnuts. Then I believe you're on the right path. Because after 60, every step matters. And your legs, they deserve better. Starting right in your own kitchen. Part 2. Watermelon, sweet, cool, but quietly draining your strength. Watermelon, just saying the name makes you feel summer, doesn't it? I grew up in Southern California where watermelon was a staple at every picnic. And to be honest, I used to love it. Cool, juicy, naturally sweet. It felt like the perfect healthy choice for anyone watching their weight or staying hydrated. But then I started asking questions. Why were some of my older patients who didn't eat sugar, didn't drink soda, still struggling with unstable blood sugar? Why were their legs getting weaker even without any clear chronic illness? One patient, Mr. Howard, 72 years old, ate watermelon every single morning. He told me it's low in calories and helps me stay cool, doc. But his legs, they kept getting weaker. He even started losing balance when trying to get up from a chair. Why? Because watermelon has a glycemic index of 80. That's higher than a slice of white bread, which means it spikes your blood sugar fast. And after age 60, your body doesn't handle those sugar spikes the way it used to. Every time your blood sugar surges, your insulin jumps in to bring it down. But that rescue reaction doesn't feed your muscles. It creates an energy crash, leaving your leg muscles tired, slow to recover, and gradually weaker. And there's more. Watermelon is over 92% water refreshing. Yes, but it lacks key nutrients that protect muscles, like magnesium, calcium, or even a bit of protein. It's also high in fructose, a type of sugar processed by the liver. And as we age, fatty liver becomes more common. Fructose is like fuel to that fire. When your liver gets overwhelmed, metabolism breaks down, blood sugar control weakens, inflammation rises. And guess where that shows up first? Your legs. A 2019 study published in the journal Nutrients followed over 1,000 older adults. The result? Those who ate more fruits high in fructose, but low in nutritional value like watermelon, had slower walking speed, weaker grip strength, and faster muscle loss in the legs. Now let me be clear. I'm not telling you to eliminate watermelon completely. I don't believe in extremes, but I do believe in awareness, in being thoughtful about what goes on your plate. If you love watermelon, think of it as a summer dessert. Enjoy a small slice after a meal paired with something like a few almonds or a spoon of Greek yogurt. The healthy fats and protein will slow down the sugar absorption, kind of like putting brakes on a car going downhill. Here's something I want you to remember. Not everything that's cold and sweet is healing. Sometimes it's quietly stealing your strength and your legs. The very things that help you move, rise, balance, deserve to be protected. Not just with exercise or therapy, but with small daily choices, like what you eat. Start today. You don't need a big change. Just ask yourself, is what I'm eating nourishing me or quietly draining me? Have you ever felt like your legs were getting weaker even though you've been eating healthy? Leave a comment below. I read every one, and I promise I'll write you back. Part 3, raisins. Sweet, tiny, and silently weakening your legs. Now here's a fruit you probably think is harmless. In fact, it's often called a healthy snack tossed into granola oatmeal, whole grain bread, or morning muffins. Raisins. Those tiny wrinkled little grapes have been in our diet since we were kids, and they come from real fruit. So what could be wrong with them? Well, it's not about where they come from. It's about how your body processes them. After age 60, let me paint a picture for you. When you eat a bunch of fresh grapes, you're getting water, fiber, and natural sugar. But all of it is absorbed slowly because the fruit is still whole. But with raisins, you're eating a concentrated sugar ball. No water, no fiber left, and the sugar hits your bloodstream instantly. And after 60, your body can't slow that sugar rush like it used to. Insulin doesn't respond as fast. Your muscles may start resisting it. What happens? Every handful of raisins is like throwing a blood sugar grenade into your system. And when that keeps happening day after day, it doesn't just make you tired, it causes muscle loss, nerve inflammation, and slows down your body's ability to recover even from light movement. I once had a patient, Lisa, 65 years old. Every morning she had oatmeal with raisins, clean eating, no sugar, no condensed milk. But she came to me with complaints of leg fatigue, shaky hands, and a mild numbness in her feet. Her blood tests only slightly elevated sugar. But when I asked her to track all the natural sugars she consumed each day, the real culprit began to appear. A study in the Journal of Gerontology found that older adults who had higher post-meal blood sugar spikes had weaker legs, slower walking speed, and reduced lower body strength. And raisins, with their fast-absorbing sugar, are one of the biggest drivers of those glucose tsunamis right after breakfast. But do you want to know what concerns me even more? It's not just the sugar. Raisins also contain a compound called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These form when sugary foods are dried or cooked at high heat. What do AGEs do? They bind to collagen, the structural protein in your tendons, joints, and muscles, and make it stiff. When collagen stiffens, you may notice your knees crack when you get up. Your ankles ache after long walks. And most importantly, you lose elasticity in the muscles that matter. Your thighs, calves, and hips. And here's something else. Many commercial raisins are coated with vegetable oils or preservatives, like sulfites, which can irritate digestion, trigger inflammation, and cause problems for older adults with weakened immunity or autoimmune issues. Now, am I saying you can never eat raisins again? No, but I'm saying be aware if you're eating raisins every day in oatmeal and bread, or just a few as a snack, you might be flooding your body with more fast sugar than candy, without the nutrition to back it up. What can you do instead? Try apple slices with almond butter, or a small handful of blueberries, gently sweet, packed with antioxidants. These don't just taste good. They protect your collagen, help rebuild muscle, and even support memory. I always say, after 60, your legs don't need more sugar. They need to be nourished with wisdom, and sometimes that wisdom starts with one simple decision: leaving the raisins out of tomorrow's breakfast. Part 4: Mango. Sweet, juicy, and secretly stealing strength from your legs. Mangoes, just hearing the name probably made half of you smile. It's hard not to love them, that golden flesh, the gentle fragrance, the rich sweetness that melts on your tongue like summertime in one bite. For years, mango has been called the king of fruits, packed with vitamins, juicy and delicious, and often seen as a healthy choice, especially in hot weather. But what if I told you that a very ripe, soft, sweet mango might be silently working against your legs, damaging collagen, triggering inflammation, and weakening your muscle strength after 60? Some of my friends, when I tell them to go easy on ripe mango, look at me like I just asked them to give up happiness. But I'm not here to take away your joy. I just want you to understand what that sweetness may be costing your knees. Did you know a single cup of ripe mango has over 45 grams of sugar? That's more than a can of Coca-Cola. And that sugar, especially the fructose in mango, isn't as gentle as you might think. You see, after age 60, the liver's ability to process fructose slows down, and mango is loaded with fructose, a type of sugar that must be processed through the liver. One of my patients, Richard, 70 years old, used to be very active. But then one day he said to me, "Doc, my legs just feel tired all the time. I can't even walk through the grocery store without stopping to rest." When I asked him what he eats, he proudly said, "Every night I treat myself to a mango. Sweet, clean, homegrown, no pesticides." And while that's beautiful in theory, the body after 60 doesn't care where the mango came from. It only cares how much sugar it brings with it. Here's the part we often miss. When you eat a soft, very ripe mango, you may be triggering something called glycation, a process where sugar sticks to collagen and makes it stiff, brittle, and less elastic. It's like leaving a rubber band out in the sun. Eventually it dries up, cracks, and loses its bounce. Collagen isn't just in your skin, it's in your hamstrings, your ligaments, your knee cartilage, the very tissues that help you balance, stand, and walk with ease. When collagen breaks down, you'll feel it. Stiff knees in the morning, slower when standing up, less spring in your step, like your legs are dragging. Ever felt that way? You walk across the room and your calves feel tight like you just climbed a hill. Or suddenly that staircase you've used for years feels like a mountain. A 2021 study published in Frontiers in Endocrinology found that older adults who ate high fructose fruits like ripe mango lost 32% of leg muscle density and walking speed in just a few weeks, not because they were ill, but because they ate one sweet mango every day. I'm not here to say stop eating mango. That's not my message. My message is eat smart. If you love mango, choose firm, just ripe fruit, still golden but not overly soft or sugary, and never eat mango on an empty stomach. Pair it with Greek yogurt, walnuts, or chia seeds, something that slows sugar absorption and protects your energy. That way you keep the joy without sacrificing your legs. Because after 60, every strong knee is a gift. Every pain-free step is a little victory. If choosing a firmer mango, or eating just one slice less, helps you walk into the park instead of watching it from your window, that's not a sacrifice. That's you reclaiming your freedom. Part 5: Canned fruit. Sweet, soft, and silently weakening your legs. Let's talk about something that's in many senior kitchens right now: canned fruit and syrup. Peaches, pears, fruit, cocktail, soft, sweet. Easy to chew seems perfect for aging, teeth, and tired bodies, right? But what if I told you that behind that soft sweetness is a silent threat to your joints, muscles, and collagen? I understand why so many older adults love canned fruit. It's easy. No washing, no peeling, no cutting. Just pop open a can and you've got a ready-to-eat dessert. One of my patients, Joyce, 74 years old, once told me, "Doctor, I only eat fruit from a can. It's easy." And my kids say, "Well, at least mom's eating fruit, that's good." And she was half right. What she was eating looked like fruit, but it wasn't really fruit anymore. Look closely at the label. Peaches in heavy syrup. Fruit cocktail sweetened. Sounds harmless, but what you're really eating is fruit soaked in refined sugar syrup, often high fructose corn syrup, one of the most damaging ingredients for the aging body. When you eat canned fruit and syrup, here's what happens. Your blood sugar spikes. There's no fiber left to slow it down. Collagen breaks down the syrup, triggers glycation sugar, sticks to collagen, making it stiff and brittle. Your leg muscles weaken. Chronic inflammation hits the very muscles that support your knees, ankles, and thighs. Imagine this. Every time you eat a few slices of canned peaches or pears, you're pouring refined sugar right into your knees. And over time, you might notice clicking or popping when standing up, tired legs after just a few minutes of walking, poor balance even though you think your diet is pretty healthy. I've seen it happen over and over. Another patient of mine, Daniel, 69 years old, loved canned fruit cocktail. "Every morning I eat half a can," he told me, "for vitamins and fruit like you said." But his blood work showed high fasting, glucose, low-grade inflammation, and most alarming, an 18% loss in leg muscle mass compared to others his age. A 2020 study in the journal Nutrients looked at over 1,300 older adults. The result? Those who ate canned fruit 2 or more times a week had a 38% higher risk of mobility issues because of inflammation, collagen loss, and poor muscle metabolism. But here's what scares me more. It's not just what's added to that can, it's what's missing. By the time that fruit is cooked, soaked in syrup, and sealed in metal, you've lost most of the vitamin C, folate, potassium, all crucial nutrients for rebuilding muscle, protecting cartilage, and supporting joint collagen. So whether it says peach, pear, or tropical fruit on the label, what you're really eating is sugar water wearing a fruit costume. So what can you do instead? Choose fresh fruit when possible. If not, go for frozen fruit. Unsweetened, no syrup, still rich in fiber and antioxidants. And always, always read the label. If it says in syrup, put it back after age 60. I believe every little food decision is an investment in your strength or your slow decline. One can of fruit and syrup today may lead to a fall a few years from now, but a crisp, fresh pear, sweet but balanced, could be the shield that protects your collagen, your muscles, and your freedom. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to wake you up because I've seen far too many good people who could have walked a few more years, climbed stairs without holding the rail, if they had just known how to choose better in their kitchen. Part 6, bananas, sweet, soft, and secretly draining your leg strength. Let's talk about a fruit everyone knows and probably loves, the banana. Soft, convenient, full of potassium. It's often seen as the athlete's friend. But after age 60, especially if you eat a ripe banana every day, it might quietly become a trap, draining the very strength from your legs. Now, let me be clear. I have nothing against bananas. I used to eat one every day. Back when I was doing hospital rounds, I'd slip a banana into my white coat pocket. Quick, easy, no washing, no fuss. Bananas are great for many people. But somewhere along the way, I began to notice something. Many of my older patients who seemed to be eating healthy were still struggling with knee pain, tired legs, and poor balance. And over time, one pattern kept showing up. They were eating bananas every single day. Here's what most people don't know. A very ripe banana has a glycemic load close to a soda. That means even if you're avoiding cake or soft drinks, just one soft banana in the morning can spike your blood sugar fast and hard. And after 60, your body doesn't handle that sugar like it used to. Your pancreas is slower. Insulin doesn't respond as quickly. Muscle cells become resistant. So instead of feeding your muscles, the sugar gets stored as fat, especially around the thighs, hips, and belly. One of my patients, Walter, 67, told me, "Doctor, I don't eat sugar. I just have bananas for potassium. Helps with cramps. but he often felt leg fatigue and was beginning to lose balance when standing up. We ran some tests and found mild insulin resistance, loss of thigh muscle, and low-grade inflammation in his knees. He had no major illnesses. Just one habit: ripe bananas every morning. Here's what happens when you eat a soft banana, especially on an empty stomach. Blood sugar spikes, insulin spikes, sugar crashes, your muscles get tired. And with no protein or fiber to slow things down, your body doesn't rebuild. Collagen suffers, joints stiffen, legs lose spring. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Endocrinology found that older adults who consumed high glycemic load foods, like ripe bananas, had weaker thigh strength, poorer balance, and slower walking endurance. Even when their total calories weren't high, it's not always how much you eat. It's what your body can handle at your age. Now, I'm not saying throw out your bananas. They're still a good source of potassium. But after 60, your kidneys may not filter potassium as efficiently. Too much can actually backfire, causing muscle cramps, tingling or numbness, slower reflexes, and weakness. So what do I recommend? If you love bananas, choose them less ripe, slightly green or firm. They contain resistant starch, which digests slower and doesn't spike your blood sugar. And never eat a banana by itself. Pair it with peanut butter, a few walnuts, or a slice of cheese. The protein and fat will slow down sugar absorption and help fuel your muscles. A note: after 60, no one wants to give up the little joys, and I'm not asking you to, but if a simple change like switching to a firmer banana or pairing it with a bit of protein could help you keep the strength in your legs, isn't that worth it? Because I've seen it too often. Someone missing a step, losing their balance, and realizing too late I didn't even notice how I was neglecting my legs all these years. You don't need to change everything. Just start with tomorrow's banana, part 7. Pineapple, the tropical friend that might be hurting your legs. Pineapple tart. Sweet, juicy. It's been called a superfood, a digestive aid, even a natural anti-inflammatory. Sounds healthy, right? And for many people in their younger years, it might be. But if you're over 60, this sunny fruit might quietly be doing the opposite, causing muscle loss, nerve inflammation, and draining strength from your legs. One slice at a time, pineapple, or thome as it's called in some parts of Asia, is found in green smoothies, fruit salads, even trendy detox bowls. I understand why so many older adults see pineapple as a good choice. It feels fresh, light, natural. But today I want you to look at pineapple not through the lens of youth, but through the reality of an aging body, one that has crossed 60. Because what matters now isn't the image of health. It's how your body actually responds. Here's the truth. Most people don't realize. Pineapple is one of the highest fructose fruits commonly eaten. And unlike glucose, which your body can use quickly, fructose must be processed by the liver first. Now here's the problem, that after 60, your liver simply doesn't work as efficiently as it used to. One of my patients, Carol, 66, ate pineapple every evening. She believed it helped digestion. It was low in calories and it had bromelain, that anti-inflammatory enzyme. But she came to me with chronic knee pain, heavy, tired calves, and recently, tingling in her feet. After a full workup, we found early-stage fatty liver, insulin resistance, and significant muscle loss in her legs over just 6 months. And one of the major contributing factors, daily pineapple and the fructose that came with it. A study in diabetes care found that older adults who consumed high fructose foods had 2.5x more risk of losing lower body strength, especially in the thighs, hips, and calves. And this happened even when their calories stayed the same. That's the tricky part. It's not about how much you eat. It's about how your body handles it now. Pineapple also has a moderately high glycemic index, 60. That means after you eat it, your blood sugar rises quickly. Insulin rushes in, and then blood sugar crashes. The result: you feel weak, drained in legs, sore, even without much activity. And over time, the fragile nerves in your legs begin to show signs of inflammation and breakdown. You may feel tingling, numbness, or a slow loss of sensation. Have you ever felt like your legs just don't respond like they used to? As if the signals from your brain aren't getting through. There's a chance pineapple, that seemingly innocent fruit, might be part of the reason. Now, many people say, but pineapple has bromelain that helps with inflammation, right? Yes, it does. But here's the truth. The amount of bromelain in a typical serving of pineapple is very small. And studies like one from the Journal of Nutrition found that bromelain isn't strong enough to make a real difference for older adults, especially if the pineapple is canned or juiced. Because at that point, it's mostly just sugar. If you love tropical fruit, consider papaya instead. Lower in sugar, higher in fiber, and packed with natural anti-inflammatory compounds that don't burden the liver. Or if you still want to eat pineapple, that's okay. Just keep it in small amounts. Have it after a full meal and never on an empty stomach. Better yet, pair it with Greek yogurt or a few almonds to slow the sugar rush. You see, after 60, we're no longer energy-burning machines like we were at 20. We need smarter choices. Not to live forever, but to walk a little stronger, to move a little freer. Pineapple isn't the enemy, but eating it every day thinking it's a health gift might just be a gift sent to the wrong address. And I believe deep down, you know when it's time to put down the knife and pick a better fruit. Part 8. Dried fruit. The sweet little snack that's stealing your strength. We've now come to the final stop in our journey through fruits that seem healthy, but quietly weaken the legs after 60. Today, I want to talk to you about a small fruit with a big impact, dried fruit. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever thought that snacking on dried fruit was a smart choice? Better than candy, right? I used to think the same until I looked deeper. Not at the label on the bag, but at what happens inside the body when someone over 60 digests those sticky sweet little pieces. Take a look at the labels. Dried mango, banana chips, raisins, dates. All sound innocent, don't they? But right underneath, you'll often find added sugar glucose, syrup or cane sugar, vegetable oils like palm or sunflower, preservatives like sulfites. And that is just the beginning. When you eat dried fruit, you're not just eating fruit, you're eating concentrated sugar, stripped of water, stripped of fiber, but packed with sweetness. In fact, it often contains more sugar than the original fruit because manufacturers add it back in to balance the tartness. A fresh slice of mango, lightly sweet, a dried mango strip about as sugary as a spoonful of honey. And here's the real problem. You don't just eat one, you eat handfuls because it doesn't make you full. That's the hidden danger for older adults. I had a patient, Helen, 70 years old. She kept a small bag of dried fruit in her purse. When I feel tired, I chew on a few pieces. Better than candy, she said, but she started experiencing achy knees, fatigue after standing, and tingling in her right foot. Her tests showed post-meal blood sugar spikes, early insulin resistance, and mild peripheral nerve inflammation. One of the culprits, fructose and AGEs from dried fruit. Let me explain AGEs, advanced glycation. End products are compounds that form when sugar bonds with proteins in your body, especially collagen. Drying fruit at high heat creates a lot of AGEs, and when you eat too many AGEs, they harden connective tissue, reduce muscle elasticity, and trigger inflammation in joints and soft tissue. And as you know by now, collagen is what keeps your knees flexible, calves strong, and thighs ready to move. Now look, the problem isn't one dried mango strip or a single prune. It's when dried fruit becomes your daily snack, when it's seen as healthy but quietly feeds inflammation, muscle loss, and imbalance. Have you ever eaten dried fruit thinking, well, at least it's fruit, you're not alone, but now you know better and you can do better? If you're looking for a smarter snack, try a handful of raw almonds or walnuts, fresh or frozen blueberries, no sugar added, or even a crisp apple slice with almond butter. These aren't just low in sugar. They actively nourish your muscles and nerves and help rebuild collagen instead of breaking it down. Here's the truth. After 60, we don't have collagen to waste. Every choice, even something as small as a snack, is a quiet investment in the future of your health. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware, not fooled by pretty packaging or words like natural, because sometimes that natural label is just a sugar trap in disguise. You see, my friend, after 60, every choice you make at the table, even a single slice of fruit, can be a step forward or a quiet step back for your legs and joints. If what I've shared today helped you understand your body just a little better, please share it with someone you care about, a friend, a sibling, a neighbor, someone who also wants to protect their knees, their joints, and their freedom to move. And if something I said today spoke to your heart or reminded you of your own journey, then I'd be so grateful if you'd click the subscribe button. It gives me the strength to keep making these real practical and heartfelt videos just for you. Thank you for spending this time with me. because your legs deserve to stand strong, and I truly believe you can do that starting today. Thank you again. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next video.